Squad. Geek Squad. Geek Squad. Geek Squad.
Hello, good evening. It's 7 p.m. and some minutes after 7 on a Tuesday. My name is Kobby, Spiky, Nkrumah, and yes, posts Facebook down, WhatsApp down, Instagram down. Geek Squad will have to talk about it. I mean, which other show would have 60 minutes to delve deep into why the biggest social media behemoth went down? I mean, what could have caused this? Did someone trip over the power cable at Facebook HQ? Did Mark Zuckerberg, as I saw in a meme, go for a rave and forgot to tell somebody to, hey, press the enter key on my laptop, and as a result, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram were down? What exactly happened? It's been there's been a lot of technical jargons being thrown around. If you're a networking engineer, you probably know what happened. So then, yes, you would have to share with us your opinion as well on what, as we go on with the show. But if you're not a technical networking engineer and you're listening, we're going to try our very best to simplify it for you. As well as we will talk about detoxing. Yes, tech detoxing, social media detoxing. Because I realized how people got cold turkey. Cold turkey-ish. Yeah, some people really, really couldn't handle not being able to post on Facebook, send a message on WhatsApp, post on their status, or check their Instagram feed. Like, they really, really weren't having it. And yeah, it's going to be a whole conversation about what happened, how it happened, what it caused, and how we can get over something like that if it happens again. Michael, Winston, welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us again.
Don't thank me. You don't have a choice, really.
Hello.
Yeah. So, guys, first off, what time did you notice that Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram had gone down?
So it's funny for me because
don't answer this question.
at the time, I was binging a show with some friends, so I didn't notice for I was like, how many? It was way past 6 p.m.
When you noticed?
When I noticed, and that was because one of my friends kept insisting that the Wi-Fi wasn't working. I was like, what's going on? And then I checked. I was like, oh. Then I saw in groups that you and I in there, like, oh, Facebook. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me go back to what I'm watching. So
see why I said don't answer this, because
so I noticed around 7 p.m.
Well, Michael?
I think I noticed, I noticed immediately it happened, but I also thought for a second my internet was messing up. But then I quickly discovered that, other services were working. So I didn't put that much thought into it. I thought it was a small temporary hiccup, so I went about my thing. Like, I was slightly annoyed because the reach test I was trying to respond to wasn't showing. So I decided, it can wait and go on to other thing. So I only really noticed that our group chat, like for instance, was surprisingly quiet. Like, no one saying anything. And those group chats are never quiet for long periods of time. Like,
unless it has people who are above certain. Yeah.
No. I've seen.
Well, I have groups that are like very quiet, so which is why I'm saying that. Unless this. Well, never mind.
Okay.
He's basically hinting at your pocket.
Sponsors, you hear this? Please do not let Spiky win this.
I've already won, bro. I've already won.
You've won this battle, but the sponsors will win this war.
Abeku, next time we're starting this show, Akon has a song called Time or Money. Someone with time doesn't have money, and someone with money doesn't have time. So I guess I'll be a gentle reminder of those who have time versus those who have money.
Meaning those who are texting on WhatsApp and those who aren't.
No, groups. Those who are very, very, very active in the groups. Unless obviously they made all the money, they bought time.
Okay.
Says the person who brought us into the backup group that was already set up on Telegram anyway.
Well, I'm not taking the fall for that. I saw an Aston Martin DB11. I had to share.
Fair.
I just had to share.
Fair enough. So yeah, it took a while before I actually noticed that something was wrong. And much like Winston, I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate, and then moved on. So I had other online, I was working anyway, but I had all my other online services were working fine. Google services were working fine. Twitter was working fine, even though I still didn't open it. Reddit was working very fine, and we had a lot of laughs on there. For
users that don't know what Reddit is, yeah,
you had a chance to find out yesterday. If you didn't do it then, you're not going to find out now.
Well, they should explore Reddit because this is something that we're also going to talk about, alternatives to some of these things. Everyone seems to be engrossed in the three big social media platforms: Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. But yeah, we'll get to that.
I just realized
I wasn't thinking about it. I should have brought a chainsaw with me to underline a certain point that I would love to make during this.
Chainsaw?
Yeah.
Wow.
A whole chainsaw. Because it must be graphically illustrated on what must happen. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
I am actually surprised people noticed. Because I thought more people would be on TikTok so they wouldn't notice.
Why? Anyways.
Because the TikTok's numbers are superseding that of YouTube currently.
Well, that's YouTube. But in Ghana, where people buy mashup. Anyways, on that segue, MTN is brought to you by Geek Squad. Yeah, Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. Choose your own bundle, your own way with MTN Flexi Bundle. Just dial *138# and enjoy bundles that don't expire. You know why MTN is brought to you by Geek Squad? Because it's geeks that make stuff like that work. You know, it's geeks that turned Facebook off. People like Raymond, who's in the studio right now. And we'll take a quick breather. When we come back, we'll dive deep into the DNSC.
Hello, class. Mental. What is 2 and 3?
23.
2 and 4?
24.
2 and 5?
Sonata.
It's been 25 amazing years with you. And to celebrate this huge milestone, we're giving away 25 brand new sleek Hyundai Sonata vehicles and lots of exciting prizes in the MTN at 25 promo. Just keep using your MTN number and talk, text, browse, and Momo more to gain points. And you could win one of 25 brand new sleek Hyundai Sonata vehicles and lots of cash prizes each month in the MTN at 25 promo. Dial *156# today and begin your journey to win big. Only on MTN. Everywhere you go.
And we're back. We'll just jump right into it. So if you just tuned in, this is Geek Squad, and we're talking about what happened to Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp yesterday when it went down. We want to break down the technical jargon that you've probably seen online. If you ever Googled what happened to Facebook yesterday, you'd see one 3-letter word that is going around all the tech websites everywhere. BGP. Yes, but before we get to BGP, and I'm not going to bore you with what it means and everything, I think I have someone who's got the skill to break it down. So, Raymond, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
First off, what happened? Did they have Doomsaw?
Oh, no. So,
Okay.
interestingly, this particular outage is pretty common.
Mm-hmm.
It happens a lot. Just that it is not Facebook or the big names that it happens to, so people don't notice it. But every once in a while, a website will go down, and then people will be checking, is this website working? What is going on? Normally, this kind of services, this kind of interactions do happen. The most common ones are physical cards, where the connection to the server room It's probably cut. I think if you throw our mind back pretty recently, we had a major internet outage in Ghana by MTN.
Yes.
You and I were chatting on this, and then it was a fiber cut. Like the cable that is carrying the internet service got cut. But on certain occasions, like what happened to Facebook, it happened to Google before.
Yeah.
It happened to Microsoft before.
2019.
It even happened to Wikipedia before. So it's pretty common. Just that the way it hit Facebook and it took out all of their services at the same time is why it's become so prominent. So it's
And I
not
think
like
it's also because Facebook, people go to all these platforms like every minute.
Yeah.
Unlike with a Wikipedia where someone would go there if only they were going to do research and stuff. But with Facebook, every second
I
someone
have
is
a habit
visiting.
of when I open my phone, I open Facebook. It's like a next thing to do
Yeah.
because I use Facebook to how do you call it, to collect all the news. So all of my news is on my timelines. I just go to BBC, CNN, everybody's there, and that's where I start from.
That feels a bit old. I don't know.
Yeah.
You
Well,
sound like
like-
you're from another generation.
It's like
with that
I did it
thing.
Yeah,
once,
you
and I got
sound
used to
very
it and I
Gen
stopped.
Z right now.
Yeah, you sounded. Yeah,
Yeah,
sounded like you went to fight the Second World War, man.
Just because he uses Facebook.
yeah.
Well, analytics does
it's the
prove
only
that.
thing I use for
Wow.
news. Like
Analytics does prove that like the older generation use Facebook more than the younger ones. So, yeah.
I don't see the point of a lot of the apps, but I don't think that's the reason why we are here today.
Okay.
So I won't even get into it.
I mean,
But
it's not as if you're getting BBC news on TikTok. So
yeah, like I don't know where else to
Don't
get it.
give
I'm
them
not,
ideas.
Please
bro.
continue.
I'm not about going to go and Google BBC, and I can't do that.
if you're a BBC executive and you decide to use our idea to go onto TikTok, please send the ASOS Pro Duo to Geek Squad at Joy FM.
It's
Kokomini,
really
Accra.
not the time to be talking
I mean,
about
far no
this.
far streets.
Thank
So,
Yeah, so what happened? So Facebook, by some whatever, decided that they needed to do some upgrades on their network, and then anytime in the day, anytime in the world, you decided that that was the time that you're going to upgrade your routers, and they did the upgrade, and it knocked out the internet, their network. Unfortunately, per what the information we've had, this was the core of the network. So there are layers of the network that goes out, but they decided to update the
The
main frames, the core, the place where everything works.
so basically, it's like you have a story building, and then it decided to do work on the foundation.
Yes, you wanted to do renovation works on the foundation, and somebody knocked off one pillar,
And then
everything
the
came
whole
down.
thing crumbled.
It was
Wow.
so bad, they couldn't enter the office because their key cards would not work.
Well, that's because Facebook created a thing called Workplace, which is
Yeah.
like a LinkedIn for Facebook,
Yeah.
and all their employees are using it. And yeah,
It sounds like a dystopian hell.
Well-
I'm happy for the Facebook employees who got a few minutes of leave because of that thing breaking.
I think personally, I think that there weren't so many Facebook workers over there because they've all been working from home and everything. So it's probably those who were going there to go and fix it
Yeah.
that were
Yeah.
locked out.
And
Yeah,
apparently
programmers
that's what
stay
even
down for
made it
longer.
more
Yeah, that's
like
why
a
it
longer
took
time
so
for them
long.
to fix because now
Couldn't
they
they
couldn't even
jump
access the
over
server.
the security barrier?
Who's the crazy guy?
Like the way we have in our office. We just jump over it.
There's probably some futuristic
Yeah,
tech door
so
with.
it's
And
Well,
you need
yeah.
the card to
And-
access your machine, a
True.
whole lot of things, and
if you're
It
thinking
was
of
crazy.
jumping the security bar at Joy FM, Spiky is joking. You will be jumped first.
so it was that, and then it coupled with the fact that the way the internet works. No, the computers don't naturally know where to go. So there's a record, like there's a map. So
Like
when
a
you
phone
type,
directory.
like a phone directory. So when you type facebook.com, your computer goes to refer to that phone directory and asks, where can I get Facebook? And then you'll be directed.
Right.
When Facebook did that upgrade, their information disappeared from the directory. So nobody could get to them.
Wow. So if you ever read Harry Potter, you see how things can disappear from the books in Harry Potter. That's pretty much how it happened. Like
Yeah.
expecto
Yeah.
patronum.
I mean, I'm thinking it's more like when when you study for an exam, you're set, and then the day you pick up the pen and start writing, then immediately everything is cleared from your head.
Oh, that was me pretty much all the time.
Okay. I'm
It's
glad
just-
to know I'm not alone in there.
So yeah,
Facebook disappeared from the
DNF
directory.
records. There are no
From the-
records of Facebook on the internet. So it wasn't like Facebook wasn't working.
They just didn't
They
exist.
just couldn't find it.
Wow. Okay, now here's the thing. Isn't there a way for you to sort of put up a sign? You know, sometimes when a website has an issue, they put up a sign saying that we are under maintenance or we are under attack or there's trouble.
So let me-
Couldn't they do something like it? Because
No, they couldn't. Let me use this analogy. It's like you are trying to come to Joy, right? And you've driven out of your house and you're asking for directions.
right,
Somebody along the road needs to know where Joy is, to tell you where Joy is. Then when you drive to Joy and you get there and they are not working, they'll put "we are closed" on the
Yeah.
door. In this case, you couldn't find your way to Joy in the first place. What you're saying, you would find your way there only to notice that they are closed.
but that's why you can't even find
You
your
can't
way.
find your way there.
So it's not even there.
You don't know how to get
So
there
the
in
road has
first place.
disappeared.
The road has disappeared. We don't know where
address
it is.
is not there.
Unfortunately, computers are not designed to store the location of websites and services. So every time you try, it requests.
Right.
So like Hansel and Gretel. You know when they were dropping
Yeah.
the stones and the second time they dropped the bread and it wasn't there and they got
Then
lost.
they got
And
lost.
they got
Yeah.
lost. Exactly.
So which is why anytime you enter your domain name or the URL, the address, into the address bar, and it says HTTP request.
Yes.
So it has to request from the domain name, which is the directory, the phone directory, asking for where is the address or the postal address or the physical address to Facebook. And then it's told.
Yep.
And then they go, why are they still so dumb? Why haven't they learned to know?
The difficulty is that there are multiple connections, right?
Right.
I am sitting in my house. I connect to one service provider. That service provider buys service from another service provider, and then he has to leave Ghana and go somewhere and go somewhere. We all know Facebook servers are not in Ghana, right? And then unfortunately for Facebook too, they have multiple servers in multiple locations. So depending on where you are coming from,
They give
and
you the
where they
closest
tell
one.
you to go to. But Facebook doesn't control the whole of the internet. So there are other service providers who Facebook needs to be telling that I have a server here. If somebody in Ghana wants to access their page, take them to this place. Now, somebody is in Ghana, wants to go on WhatsApp. They go to their service provider, and service provider says, I don't know what WhatsApp is because I looked through my directory.
And it's not there.
There's no WhatsApp there. So we are all stuck. And then they themselves get to the office and try to fix it. And their key card doesn't work because the key card cannot find the server that has your information for me to know that you really are Winston and you want to enter the office.
So that wasn't even on a LAN, let's say like in the building. They have their own network there,
Yeah.
you know. So like in your home where you have your Wi-Fi, where your TV, your phone, and everything is connected. So say, yeah, I've been knocked off the internet as a whole. Does that mean my network in my house too shouldn't work?
It depends on how you design your network, really, because that's the thing with sophistication. When you start adding on complex technology over and over, then you start thinking that, oh, this thing cannot break. Before I got here, there was an argument on Facebook like, but Facebook has so many redundancies. How come that this happened? It was intentional. And I'm like, look, no matter how many, you are saying that it is my house, it's my own network, it's my own Wi-Fi. Why should I be knocked off? Your thing needs that DNS, that information. For security reasons, most companies do not hold that information on their premises.
Why?
For security reasons, because if somebody should break in now, they have all of your information. So sometimes it's hosted by somebody else. It is somewhere else. Now, you can't even find your way from your house to your own door. So you can't even get out, let alone find your way to the office.
Well, if you're listening to us and you want to share your experience when Facebook went down, send us a message on WhatsApp on 055 quadruple 1997 055 1111 997 055 11 11 997. How did you feel when you couldn't send that WhatsApp message? How did you feel when you couldn't check your feed on Facebook? And how did you feel when you couldn't double tap on that picture on Instagram to like it? I know Michael was trying to,
I was researching.
you were
Yeah,
researching.
the
Yeah, I
interesting
saw
thing.
that Instagram feed that you were researching on.
You know the interesting thing? So I had my phone, and I was in the middle of a WhatsApp call.
Right.
Then I couldn't hear the person from the other side because he was the one talking on me, fortunately. They were like, but the line was still connected. So I'll do that thing where I'll cut it and call you again. I cut it and the call wasn't going through. So I sent him a message, call me back. And the message wasn't going through. I'm like, oh, my internet is gone down. So I just got up and I walked to my router and I checked. I'm like, it's working. And I went to Google, it's working. The first thing I did was Facebook working, and I actually got to know around maybe 4 p.m. ish, just when it started. So I just made a few phone calls. I'm like, oh, these people are down. I put my phone off.
You know, the funny thing is, I thought someone was playing a prank on me because it was working. I had sent a message. I was on Instagram. I was on Facebook. And then the thing just stopped working. So I thought it was a Wi-Fi. So I switched to mobile data. That wasn't working either. I couldn't access WhatsApp. I restarted WhatsApp on the phone still. Then I started to ping. I pinged Facebook. I pinged Instagram. I pinged WhatsApp. They were failing. Instagram, surprisingly, was still pinging. But the feed was stuck. I was still stuck getting the same feed. And I just gave up. I'm like, you know what? Somebody just probably wants to play a prank on me on my own network. So I just ignored. And I wasn't really in the mood to have that. So I just ignored. Then Dennis sends me a Geek Squad flyer, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram. And I'm like, oh, that explains it. I'd already just ignored because most of my important messages come through Telegram. So if I don't have WhatsApp, I really don't miss it.
For the first time in a very long time, I started receiving text messages. And my phone was like, wow.
I know. It still works. And to think that people did not make phone calls, I was very surprised that I got very few phone calls. People were still sending messages. People were switching to other social media platforms to say whatever they wanted to say. And we're going to get to that part where I'm wondering, have we become more texty than cally, which is something I would like. But let me read some of the messages before we continue the conversation. Good evening, Kobby. Yesterday, I felt like a dark world where everywhere looks dark. I am unable to visit Facebook or even chat on WhatsApp. I beg, make them no try that thing again. No, that's Nkrumah watching from Blakema Central. Nkrumah watching. So your life just became dark, like no lights. I realized that I have 657 free SMS to send when WhatsApp went down. Please send your name. I didn't catch your name. And then my experience, I had Zoom lectures, and we usually get the link from our WhatsApp page. Got to the time, and I didn't get any. Bought enough data, downloaded it off and on like 50 times. Oh, became frustrated and decided to call only to hear similar stories. Clear to circle. So 50 times before you called. Wow.
I called just once.
Yeah, but you see, that's how much dependent we are on these services that we don't even want to make a phone call.
And with how
So Nee was the one who realized, Nee from Pantine is the one who realized that he had 657 free SMSs. Do send more SMSs.
With how stable these services have been, that will not be your first thought. That's the service is down. It's probably, you know that whole, it's not you, it's me. That's how you feel when something like that happens. You're like, it's probably me.
Hi, Kobby. I'm Kobby from... Oh, okay. Hi, Kobby. I'm Kobby from Nkrumah. I restarted my phone 5 times and changed my data SIM. Oh, wow. So sorry you had to go through that. So sorry. Now, back to the studio. Raymond, remember, I like that you brought the fact that Google experienced this. And I like that we mentioned these redundancies because... when Google went down, Google is one of the companies that has some of the most intricate redundancies set up for something like this in case it should happen. And even they suffered. I mean, I read the technical report on how it's supposed to handle that downtime, and I was amazed. I'm like, why didn't I become a network engineer? I always used to think it's all about Cat6 and crimping tools. But wow. You know, so... what is it that a redundancy, for instance, in that case, or better yet, let me put it this way. Can we have a redundancy for a foundation? In the sense, like, because that's the analogy we're going with. That
Wouldn't that be a second foundation?
No.
I mean, it should be a foundation on the side. Because if it's a second foundation on top or underneath, it would still be affected. So it should be on the side where, if anything, we slide the whole building onto it. I know the Chinese can do that.
For you to even come up with an analogy, that's how difficult it is to find redundancies. Because they are, like, not to be too much of a technical conversation, but like you see that if you have 2 phones, it's okay, one phone is my spare. So just in case of anything, I'll switch to this phone. you can use the call forwarding feature on your phone so that if this phone is off, the network will automatically send the call to this phone.
Yeah.
But mind you, the call will still hit this one first. And the network will tell that this network is off before it to switch to the other one.
So if it doesn't exist, it
If
doesn't,
it doesn't exist, it doesn't exist. There is always that downtime. You would experience it.
Yeah.
So there are times when they design networks such that there are two service providers. Just in case one goes down, you can switch to the other one. But there's a physical device that you put in the middle to say that this device will make the decision. What happens when that device goes off?
So another analogy. That's basically like you having a receptionist.
Let me use the foundation thing you're talking
Okay.
about, right? So we have this foundation, I have another foundation on the side, and we say that if anything happens, we'll slide this foundation in. That person who will do the sliding, what if he's not there?
Find another person.
So it is the time you spend finding another person.
That's
That
why
was
we
the
were
4 hours
down.
or 8 hours that we waited for Facebook to find that person to come and slide.
Interesting.
Well, man, you can't even get into the building area to
Go and
replace the
slide.
person in the first place because your keys are also locked. I've locked you out.
So I have a question.
Right.
Is it a whole job to figure out redundancies? Because it's sounding like you have to sit down and think that, okay, today this receptionist, if this receptionist doesn't come, this is A, B, C, D that we will do. If A fails, this is what we will do. It sounds like something. It's like you're planning
Yep.
every eventuality.
Yep.
Is that a job? And who is hiring?
I believe
That thing is an insurance. It's more like that's what insurance companies do. Yeah, but in technology, it's not really like somebody's job to wake up and be planning for failures. There are people.
I mean,
I think it should be a job now.
I think
We
some
have
businesses have
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
what do you call them, fault tolerance, something. I've seen a job description like that where somebody's job is just basically to find faults and then come up with solution for them. Even if faults don't exist, create it and come up with a
Yeah.
solution.
we
Yeah,
have
but
that,
you see,
we have
it
that
is
in our
it's,
company.
it's
Oh.
it's
Yeah.
it's a for most
Dedicated
organizations. It's those things like buying insurance, right? How much insurance can you buy? Because don't forget that you are putting money down for something to happen. But how long can you keep doing it if the thing never happens? So you're just sinking money into something that may not happen. So over time, companies become lax about keeping it up.
If the
Because-
police have anything to say, you buy it all the time. So
So sometimes over time, then people become relaxed about it. I'm sure like they've done these updates so many times.
Yeah.
They think that nothing could possibly go wrong. And it is the thing about technology and engineers. Like you keep doing the same thing over and over again. So you come to a position where you feel like, oh, this one, we've done it before. It's not a big deal. Then somebody just says enter and the whole thing comes down.
You know, you just reminded me of one of my how do you call it? My experiences when I was coding. And I had written a code and it wouldn't compile. And I was so frustrated because this was a whole lot of lines of code. And I decided to go for a walk and listen to music. And while I was listening to the music and taking this walk and being frustrated and starting to reconsider my decision to be a programmer, Sweetest Girl by Wyclef and Lil Wayne came on. And I was singing along the chorus and then dollar dollar bill, yeah, I got a dollar bill. And then it hit me.
Forgot the dollar sign.
The dollar sign in the code was messing the whole thing up. I turned around, opened my voice recorder and started shouting, recording a voice note so I don't forget, and running. Mind you, I had done 15 kilometers from my house and I had to run back because I didn't have any money for me to take a car. When I got home, I changed every single dollar sign to USD, compiled it, and it worked.
Kind of 15 kilometers. Like it's not a broken heart. It's just some
No, I
messed
do
up
that. I
code.
do that. Anyway, that's not the purpose of the conversation. Now, so we know coding, some things can really knock
Yep.
the network down. Basically, what happened was a very fundamental problem, something that was very, at the core, and there was nothing that could have been done. Now, the thing is, how did it impact users? We know, yes, people like the messages I've read felt like a dark world And some people ended up spending more time resetting their phones, and
Yeah.
I hope nobody factory resetted their phones,
I have a friend who
Yeah.
actually deleted, uninstalled WhatsApp,
WhatsApp, and lost all their
installed
messages.
and he installed it again just to be sure.
Oh,
no.
yeah, someone said he did it like 5 times. So, question, how did it impact users? I mean, Winston and Michael, it didn't impact them at all. Winston, I don't even know why he's here because it didn't impact him in any way. But then again, for people who use Facebook, individuals and businesses we can tell.
Yep.
But let's get into it for those who don't know.
I think one of the questions I have with regards to that is, was it a holiday for digital marketers?
It was a holiday for Dennis, I know that for sure.
Because it's like, so what do you do? I mean, if you are, people plan out their social media rollout. Or imagine, hypothetically, Donda was supposed to be released yesterday, and they were using all these social media channels, and then they job. Like, I have a question for you. Is there any way you can, take them to court? Because think about it. Some people could definitely have lost money. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg himself
Yeah.
has lost
So if
value.
you take it to court, they'd be like, bro, I lost 7 billion.
He lost 7 billion. Which I see someone that's what's
Yeah.
talking over there. Yeah, I think it's his stock value or the value of his stocks
Yeah.
dropped by 7 billion. Not that the money is in his bank account and it just walked away. It's just his stock valuation. But I mean, so are there any? Is there insurance for things like this?
No, unfortunately, but
It's
I
too
am.
risky.
The risk is not there really. You get it? These are things that happen, hardly happen. So you get into the situation where you be paying money for a scenario that would hardly happen. So I just wasted money.
I mean, it's like getting insurance for your Toyota overheating. It just doesn't happen like that.
I like that analogy. I mean,
That said, if your Toyota
yeah.
heated while you're listening to us, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean that.
You bought a defective part.
yeah, there are certain things that it doesn't make sense to have redundancies for. It doesn't make sense to have insurance for. So if you are a digital marketer and then Facebook went down, well,
So it's like,
what
but-
if-
Well, I
the
believe
rest of us,
early
we the
lunch.
engineers, we go to work and there's no light. What do we do? We just
So-
stand around.
So basically, it's like buying fair coats in Accra, waiting for winter.
wearing chinchilla.
Yeah.
It happens. So I think that the difficulty is, like what you're saying, there was somebody who's about to release a major, and then
Product.
the service is down. You can't blame Facebook for it.
Well, I think if people read the terms and
And
conditions,
conditions, I'm
they
sure it's in
realize that
there.
it's in there saying that you cannot hold them liable to the.
I think I read an article just yesterday where one of the telecom companies in, I think, Singapore or someplace is suing Netflix
Yes,
because of Squid Game.
because a lot of people were
Everybody's
were
watching
streaming
it. It's affecting their
their
network.
network. Yeah.
So they want Netflix to come and pay them.
Why did you make a show so good that people are streaming so much that our network is suffering?
I would like to tell you that what had my attention yesterday was said Squid Game. So that's why the whole Facebook wahala wasn't.
It's the PlayStation minus X.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Wait, so how did you not get that joke? It's literally the PlayStation minus X.
Oh yeah.
Took you long enough.
Too long.
I was
So-
on a roll, bro.
These kind of things happen, and the service providers will tell you, well, and Netflix argument is, I am not asking your people to.
Yep.
Netflix are actually able to argue. I imagine their lawyers still laughing.
No, but
Like-
the interesting thing is that there's precedent. YouTube pays the service providers in the country.
Oh,
So then you say if YouTube pays and Facebook pays, why is Netflix not paying?
fair enough. Fair enough.
That's a problem. But
Let me
Netflix-
read some messages whilst we continue the conversation. I'm a digital marketing officer in my firm, and the funny thing is that the internet in my office went down at just about the same time the FB platforms went down. It confirmed that connectivity was down. For once, there was no pressure to monitor any pages or posts. That was a holiday. That's me in Pantai. Nkrumah, Kobby, Spiky. Some of us, those are the only places which keep us entertained small. We switched to Ayoba, which was very active. Oh, is it? And hashtag my Google Pixel 3. Ooh, Douglas from DC. We're going to start a GoFundMe for you. And so Dr. Mubarak Ahmed is a research fellow in Paris-Saclay University, says, I have restarted my phone severally to no avail, but I enjoyed the blackout. It made me sleep early last night. Interesting. I thought you'd do some research, since you're a research fellow. Kobby and crew, was it really true that Facebook and Mark lost $7 billion during yesterday's blackout? So, Mark lost $7 billion. Facebook lost $60 million. So, yeah.
60 million in lost revenue from it.
Yes.
not
Lost
where-
revenue, yes.
So 60
Adverts
million
they
lost
couldn't
revenue.
play.
But Mark's stock went
Down
down,
by $7
billion.
billion.
But the thing is,
so he's now at 121.6
and
and
billion.
it's
drop
still
to the
come
numbers.
back because he's not selling that stock. It's still the
Yeah,
same
he's still
value.
holding.
Yeah.
When
Still
it
holding
rises,
When it rises, it comes back up. So
So-
aside the time wasted, nothing has really
So
changed.
basically, his social money went down by 7 billion. People are like, we don't like you today. So he dropped in popularity by $7 billion, and maybe tomorrow or
It'll
something.
go up
I
again.
mean, considering
mean
what
that-
is going on right now, there's a Facebook whistleblower. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I read that article.
we'll get
People
to
are
that.
like, oh, he intentionally did it.
Yeah, so good evening. This is Zola and Osu. It was around 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon. I was seriously chatting this lady, trying to find out where she lives. Then boom, I wasn't getting a reply from her. I checked my network, changed to Voda, switched off my phone like 5 times, but nothing. You know, the funny thing is we had light out that afternoon, so I thought it was from the light out. Later I realized Twitter was working and I got the info from there. I felt bad and insulted Mark Zuckerberg, but that didn't get anywhere. But question, did you get the girls, details? Kobby, we were at the office testing our mobile, and then we found some problems, documented it, and ready to send, and WhatsApp was down. At 4:50 p.m., when everybody was ready to go, and the thing was messing up, then we had to use Telegram instead by call Daniel. Yeah, I think... So,
You know, this thing actually exposed a very interesting trend in offices nowadays. A lot of companies are working on WhatsApp.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
A lot of people have moved away from email to WhatsApp. It was surprising to me.
and sending your things through WhatsApp.
A lot
At
of
least.
companies are doing that.
instant messaging, keyword,
that's-
instant.
So is MS Teams. So is Zoom.
MS Teams is not instant because
not
it is
instant.
not on your phone and your this thing like the way you
that's your
listen.
fault
Listen,
for
let
not
me tell you
installing it.
something. Let me tell you something. People open WhatsApp instantly. They pick up their phones.
Yeah.
That is instant.
I do.
When was the last time somebody opened MS Teams the moment they pick up their phone?
I mean, if I'm at risk of being fired because
is
I
you.
have not read important messages on MS Teams, I am going to read it right
but
quick.
here's the thing: your boss is sending you WhatsApp messages. Are you smarter than your boss to use MS
Yeah.
Teams? Tell your boss, my WhatsApp is not the best communication platform.
Let's use MS
Now,
Teams.
I think that to a point, anytime they send me anything work related on WhatsApp, I just say, send it to Teams, please. I can't deal with it here.
But to be honest, from an office perspective, WhatsApp is not the best. It's
Well,
convenient.
Exactly,
But
and that's
it's
what,
not the
and it's
best.
efficient,
It's
mind you.
convenience, it's efficient.
And that's why people
there
are using
There
it.
are companies that have policies that leave your read receipts on.
Oh,
That's how I'm telling
that's
you.
how deep it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Well,
I
the
want-
thing. Listen,
I'm sure somebody shouted in the office like, yes! Because I've seen it before.
Oh god, I really feel sorry for all of you people. Like that hurts my heart.
that people have to be responding to messages on WhatsApp.
Office WhatsApp groups,
Yeah.
no less, and I have to leave my read receipts. Oh
Yes.
jeez.
Yeah,
No, because I was under the assumption that if it's office related stuff, like important stuff,
Bro.
we need to keep track of it. WhatsApp is not like
No,
the
yeah,
best place to
bosses be sending messages to WhatsApp groups and then go and tap and then hit on the eye and see who has
Who
read.
has read it?
Listen, it's the control. You know, some bosses like that control. The fact that they can have that control over their employees to know what they're doing.
Did you hear that story of the WhatsApp with the work WhatsApp group that one worker sent a what's the word I should use for this video that he sent to the group chat? But it's not something that should be in a
WhatsApp group,
in a work
basically.
WhatsApp group. But he sends it in there, fresh and early in the morning, and then as
Deletes
soon as
for himself.
Yeah, deletes it for himself in a panic. So now sitting there, in whichever work group this is, and it is still there right now because, like I said, delete for some. Even the admin can't delete other people's messages.
See why WhatsApp sucks? If this was Telegram, clear the whole message.
Go on.
Anyways, so Doomsaw happened in cyberspace. A message I was sending on WhatsApp got stuck. I restarted almost WhatsApp and almost everything, switched networks. Wifey walked up to me and was complaining bitterly because she is an Instagram bae. At the time, I didn't know, so I told her something must be wrong because I was working from home and still connected to my corporate office and was able to work from home. We're also vulnerable and must diversify as much as Facebook needs to, instead of putting all services in one basket. Now, this brings us to the next point I was about to raise. Should Facebook be broken up? Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, should it be broken up?
If you ask the American government, all of them should be broken up.
Well,
but the reason why the American government wants to break them all up is because of money and taxes and everything.
not because it's a monopoly and they have control too
I
much
mean,
power.
that's what the leak is.
I mean,
now
that's what they will
leading
start
to.
with. But the point is that I can't be giving these lessons on air. So things they happen. So it's like they think. Some of them think. What was her name? One of the women who was running for office. That was one of the main things she was championing. That was breaking up the big tech companies because she felt they would pay more tax than if they were broken up. But the issue here is that will it matter? Because it is an infrastructural based thing. If I'm mistaken, it's not an issue of okay, this body is separate, but they are sharing the same infrastructure. So what is the point of separating them?
You know, the time the Google thing happened, it affected a lot of other websites that were not related to Google.
Yeah.
Because the person hosting their information went down. So, like he's saying, it's an infrastructure thing. If you break Facebook down into 10 companies, they, you know, this thing, they can break the companies down on paper. But the physical office spaces and the things that you're doing is still happening on the same
But you
premises.
see,
And it's perfectly legal.
I personally think that it's going to be difficult to do because, I mean, we've seen them try that with Microsoft before. It didn't work.
Microsoft didn't work.
See how they
AOL
tried to get people to
didn't
buy
work.
TikTok.
Disney didn't work. I mean,
Well,
even Sony
live to
didn't
see.
work.
I mean, but the point is that it's. Are you going to buy all the physical infrastructure pieces they would require to air quotes move offices? Are you? If you're not paying us any money to break up, then what's the point?
But so what if they made a law that no one man should have all that power?
There are actually laws in the United States that avoids companies from getting too much control
monopoly.
on a particular market, right? But the problem with those laws are it doesn't give opportunity or it doesn't help the competition to come and compete with me. For instance, I have WhatsApp
Yeah.
and there's Telegram. If the law says that WhatsApp cannot become too big, it doesn't say that we'll break WhatsApp, take the money and go and give it to Telegram to compete with them. So you just said WhatsApp cannot become too big and you left it there. So if I am good enough to reach that level and you are not good enough to reach that level, why are you disturbing me? It's the other side of the discussion.
I mean, they shot themselves on the foot being such a capitalistic economy because you've literally created an environment for survival of the fittest. So we are all doing whatever we need to get that money. Now I've gotten the money to now. Hey, so what do you want me
It's
to
one
do?
thing, but then literally you need so much money. And what are you doing with that money? You're not trying to just expand. You're literally trying to. It's like a tree. Actually, no. It is actually kind of like survival of the fittest. Like you thrived in this environment, and now you're making sure that the environment only works for you and no one else. Whatever must die, be it the government that allowed you to come in there, be it the people that built it. It doesn't matter. Whatever must die for you to grow further is what you will kill in order to. I just realized that I'm becoming a socialist. No, capitalism.
And
forever.
that's the effect of capitalism because it's
yeah,
like
and I love it.
Because the
So-
thing is, if I am in front, right, it's not enough to be first. You actually have to maintain your first because
So-
somebody is coming up.
shout out to Hamilton.
There you go.
No, this just played back a scene from that Aladdin where he shot all the races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But
Bodo
the
and
the question I want to ask
right.
is, looking at how we are dependent on the services, what should we be doing to win ourselves off it?
Now that was the final part of the conversation. So we're gonna play a quick. We're gonna go for a commercial break. When we come back, I'll read the messages and we'll talk about how we can detox from social media because people were suffering yesterday.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Hi, my name is Kwesi and welcome to my do-it-yourself class. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to activate Momo. You can now self-activate your Momo on your phone by yourself wherever you are. It's as simple as DIY. So do it yourself. Activate your Momo wallet now. Oh, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my class.
So now you know. Activate your MTN Momo account on your phone all by yourself. Just dial *170#. Follow the message prompts and that's it. So go on and pay bills, make and receive payments, and buy airtime using MTN Momo. Because we're good together. We dare for you everywhere you go.
Joy 99.7 FM.
And we're back. MTN wants you to know that it's giving away loads and loads of gifts to you for just doing what you do best on your favorite network. Now, you too can live your best life and enjoy so much more with MTN Rewards. Just keep talking, texting, and browsing all day, every day to collect points and use those points to redeem amazing offers and discounted freebies right away. MTN Rewards is gifting you discounts on some of your favorite restaurants and stores and allowing you to redeem airtime today. All you have to do is just dial *550# and get your MTN reward today. MTN everywhere you go. So Bodrian last says, I nearly reset my phone yesterday. I thought it was my phone because I reset the date setting like 5 times. It was still not working. Thanks to Bolt, I was able to request for a ride, which made me realize it was Facebook and the others. And please, for the past 2 days now, no lights. Okay. I don't know how Facebook can contribute to that, but so great show always. Yesterday's experience was terrible and unexpected. Please, I heard there was a whistleblower involved in all these. How true is that? Please say hi to my friend in the studio, Raymond. He should report afterwards. Gordon from Adabraka. Report. The Nkrumah says, okay, yeah, he still felt it like a dark world. So, guys, people were really, really struggling when it happened. You know, we've been discussing off air how some people going back to. I've seen the memes. I know I'm even cutting my sentences short because there's so much to say. People were sharing memes about how someone going back to send emails and he was like an old man looking for A Wayne, B Wayne. You know, so used to doing the usual stuff. WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram. How do we get away from this life that we've begun to live, where our lives are heavily dependent on these social media platforms? I know this should be a whole show about detoxing from social media. Winston would be the best person to do this because, yeah.
I do it a lot. Yeah.
You know, you live it. You don't just do it, you live it.
One of the simplest things is breaking the habit of having your phone on the bed. Like just before you go to bed, because that means that if your phone is with you on the bed, when you wake up is the first thing you are going to take. So what I typically do is I charge my phone away from my bed. So,
Far away.
Yeah, so if it's charging and I wake up and I'm looking for it, it's far away. That means I have to get up, which
So
means I have to
what
sacrifice
if,
my sleep.
touch wood, Ami Roberts came to your house, aka Armed Roberts, and you have to call 191 or you have to call the police basically, and your phone is far away. What will you do?
Sasa. Let's be realistic here. I mean, you scramble for your phone and everything. All that's good.
Okay, but you just get a smartwatch.
But which is what I was going to say. But the sleep tracking never really did make sense for me.
It makes sense. I used it and it was really
Yeah,
really,
because
really-
you don't sleep. You don't be sleeping, so you have to track your sleep.
Bold words from somebody who is constantly sleeping. If anybody needs sleep tracking, it is you.
Yeah, I'm sure if it was
So he's saying that he
smartwatch, it
sleeps
would.
fine. He doesn't need the tracking. He doesn't need the tracking.
No,
But yeah.
we need to know that he's sleeping too much.
But the thing here is that if it's also good if you are someone where the phone alarms don't really work for you. Because if the phone is away from you, when I say away from, I don't mean in the other side of the house. Like maybe just a few feet away. Because now, but when the alarm goes off in the morning, you have to actively get up to go and turn it off. Otherwise, it will keep on.
And it will ruin your sleep.
Yes. So that's one of the things I do to help detoxing from having my phone. The other is just, come on, read books, guys. Read books.
And on that bookshelf, Yogi in Canada says he got the alert immediately it happened. Okay, cool. And Kobby, the impact. Oops. Dennis back. Yes. Kobby, the impact on our mental health was unimaginable, but listen, don't build your business in any form exclusively dependent on another. Let's all strive to adopt the build multiple channels approach always. That's Anthony Ni Ajay from Achimota. That's very true.
It's true, but also quite difficult because there are certain people whose content is suitable for a particular social media platform.
And that's why we have to give them alternatives.
But
Alternatives to Instagram.
Wait. I've heard this alternatives discussion a lot, but the question is how many people are on that alternative?
Well, so we're building in them.
Yeah, because the thing is, I'm a business. I want to reach the largest possible mass. And then you tell me, okay, move out of Instagram, go here. And I go there and there are like 10 people there.
No, you're not telling them to move out, but you're keeping your options open. So imagine that like you're a business and you're using WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger as your customer service means, accepting tickets or reports or something. And then imagine that your clients are none the wiser that Facebook, WhatsApp are down and they're sending you messages over there and then you're not responding to them. They're like, look at this guy. He's not serious.
I don't see the apology.
Please. The thing's not working. Which apology are they seeing?
When it does work.
After it does work and then they've left. That's why you should have options. So imagine, then you have Twitter or you have LinkedIn, you have TikTok.
What if they are not on there?
They'll come there. When it happened, didn't you see the sign-ups?
Yeah.
Telegram saw a huge surge in sign-ups.
Which affected them too.
Yeah, in the US.
Yeah.
It didn't shut it down, it slowed it down.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take that big water hose and kind of put in a small one.
Fair.
But anyways, so yeah, I agree that going to set up channels in places where there's no audience, but you could be first to markets. Think about it.
No, I think that the discussion should be moving the audience to those platforms. So the work now comes to the platform owners to find a way of getting audience.
And that is very
I will
difficult.
I will set an example here. I am one of those people who have installed Snapchat and removed it more than 5 times because when I put it up, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I try it, I'm like, it's boring. I remove it. And I put it back again. I just don't
can
get
totally relate. One of the most
just
useless
don't
apps
get it.
that I have on my phone
Actually
is
use
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Yeah, I know why you're there.
To read that, actually, that's how I get a lot of news.
Yeah.
You're looking at my face now.
Yes, there's a whole lot of news on. There's a whole lot of news on Snapchat.
Yeah.
And he showed me some stories.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm talking about real news.
But what am I talking about? It's not fake. It's not silicone news.
Wow. So I used to check things like when is the mixed martial arts, their events and stuff. You get to see behind the scenes stuff like that. Yeah, so
Very interesting.
I like how you're trying to make Snapchat sound like such an intellectual exercise.
surprised.
Like, yeah.
Considering that it was
surprised.
made for adult content,
well,
primarily when it was made initially.
oh, that's what it was.
really?
used
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Before
wow.
it became the social media application.
Tell
that
me
it is.
more.
Oh, okay.
No, we can't talk more about this because we've run out of time. And unfortunately, I read the last message and we sign out. I did just fine. That's from Sly. He said, honestly, I didn't even notice, like Winston, till my attention was brought to it. But I wasn't bothered, crowd. The thing is, my favorite is Twitter and Telegram. While others were bleeding, I was feeling. Welcome to my world of Telegram and Twitter. Doing the rest. That said, is the money circulating Mark lost within that hours accurate? If it's true, then damn, we're making these dudes really rich. Please explain to me how he accesses these platforms generate into physical billions for the owners. I need to know because they can't chop the money alone. Sly, we hear you. Well, yeah, we've said that the money is actually his value. So it's not like they went into his bank account and then took 7 billion from it, saying that, hey, this is punishment for taking down Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. But yeah, it could affect his bank account eventually as well if
he sells.
Yeah. So we've run out of time, and we hope that you understood what happened yesterday and understand that, yeah, it could happen. It will happen. It sometimes will happen, and sometimes it may happen more often than not. Geek Squad is brought to you by MTN. Choose your own bundle your own way with MTN Flexi Bundle. Just dial *138# and enjoy bundles that expire. We're available on the podcast, Google, Apple, and on YouTube, Facebook. My name is Kobby, Spiky, Nkrumah. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Winston. Thank you, Michael. And I'll catch you next week, Tuesday, on another one. Peace.
Joy 99.7 FM.
It is 8 o'clock here. The latest headlines from the Joy Newsroom. The National Democratic Congress has launched a scathing attack on the 3-member committee which probed the Israel disturbances. At a news conference at the party's headquarters